So your 2-point perspective of your house. For this assignment, you can choose to do the house that you're currently living in, or you can do what I've done and take a picture of a house off the internet if you don't want people to see your house. You might want to choose one from a film or a cartoon series. You might want to do the one at The Simpsons. You might want to do the White House or a recognisable building. Or you might want to take this opportunity to express some of your creativity and be the architect of your own dream house. We've already practiced 2-point perspective, so we know by now we've got our horizon line, we've got vanishing point 1 and we've got vanishing point 2. With perspectives for 2-point, we always start with the edge. So what I'm going to do just now is I'm going to choose where I want the corner of my house to be, and I'm going to choose how tall that corner is going to be. So if you look at the picture that I've shown, this is the corner where there's a little drain pipe on the left and then there's the bushes on the right, and I'm looking at the proportion of that and I'm quite happy with that. So that is my corner, and so to draw the front of the house, now my ruler is too short to go all the way back to the vanishing point, but as long as it's going in that general direction just now, it'll be fine. And I'm going to think about the sizes, and I think that's enough space for the bricks, window and the door. Keep your lines nice and light at this stage, because if you're not happy with the sizes, we can always rub them out. Okay, so I need this to be quite tall and thin, so I'm going to make this line a bit taller, right there, and then I'm going to take it back to the vanishing point, right here. Okay, so what I've got just now, as I said, is the front of the house. Remember from beforehand when we did 2-point perspectives that things that are closer to you appear bigger and things that are further back appear smaller and closer together. So remember that idea of the railway tracks. This will be most obvious in the 2 windows that I've got upstairs, because they are both the same size and in real life they are both the same distance from the wall. But what will happen in my perspective is the window that's closest to me will appear bigger than the one further away. So let's have a wee look at drawing those windows in. So using my ruler going to the vanishing point, I'm going to project a line that's going to make the top of my window. So the top of my window is going to be there. Thinking about how big I'd like the window to be, I can use my ruler. Let's say, let's try my windows being about that size. So I've now got a rule for the top of the windows and the bottom of the windows. So there's quite a big gap before the windows start. And then the first window is about the same size as the gap, but because it's further back, I'm going to make it a wee bit smaller. And then there's a gap. There's quite a small gap. And then remember, this back window has to be slightly smaller again. So that window is smaller than that window. If I just take a piece of paper and prove that to you. So the first one is from the corner to there, and the back one, as you can see, there's a gap smaller. So everything going back to the window has been smaller. I'm quite happy with the sizes of those, and later on I'll add in some detail. I've also got a window which is directly below the top window, so again, using some very light lines, I can take those sizes down, and now I know that the front, sort of, let's say the living room window, is going to appear somewhere in here. Thinking about where I would like that window to end, I'm going to maybe say it's that far off the ground, and I'll make it about, so this isn't measured, you're just looking at the sizes and think what looks good. Okay, I have a door which is tucked into the corner here, which is the same height as the front window, so I am going to just bring that back, and I'm going to leave a tiny wee gap for bricks, and then I'm going to bring in my door. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just slightly darken this down just to make sure that it's appearing on the video a bit easier for you guys to see. Okay, so what you should be doing, you shouldn't be doing this until the end of your drawing, but to make sure everyone's able to see, just darken down what I've decided so far, because I know some of you have said that the lines, I am trying to make them dark enough for you to see on the video, but still giving an idea of what they look like in construction. So this isn't really how I would draw it. I would keep it nice and light until the end. So you can see just now I've got the start of my building. Oh, kind of outline that a wee bit too far. I've got the corner and I've got the top. Okay. There we go. So that should show up in the video a bit clearer. I'll try and keep it a wee bit darker then. So now that we've got the start of this house, let's do the side of it, because the side of it I'm quite excited about. So the side of it comes back to the other vanishing point. Okay. And what happens here is we've got our eaves of our roof, but I need to know where they're joining back to, so I'm just going to take this corner back as well. And then I need to decide how thick I want to make this house, so I'm going to say about there. Okay. I've got a wee door that appears sort of in the middle, but remember, it's at the front is a bit bigger. And then a wee door there. And what's important to realise is that the height of this door is the same as the height of the door here. So what we're going to do just now is we're going to use our imagination, and we're going to take this line and imagine it's like a piece of string, and we're going to wrap it around the corner. So we're going to take this piece of string, take it all the way to the corner, and once we've got it to that corner, we're going to take it back to the vanishing point. And what that does is it means I know exactly how tall this sort of little side door is. It's exactly the same height as this door. And I've made sure that it ties in with what I've drawn on both sides. Okay. Now, for the peak of the house, we have to decide how tall it's going to be. I think it's going to come to about here. Now, the peak of the roof is in exactly the middle in real life, but remember, in perspective, that means we go further back just ever so slightly. Draw a line how high you want it to be, and then you can connect the eaves of your roof. Now, the eaves of the roof do actually go slightly beyond the corners. They stick out, and that means that when the water comes down, it doesn't go straight onto the building, it falls off it. So later on, we might want to project the eaves of this roof just a wee bit bigger. So I've got the side of my house, I've got the front of the house, and then I've got this bit that comes out. Okay, it's not flat, it comes out. And the way that we do that is if we take this corner, again using the vanishing point, but instead of going back to the vanishing point, if we come out from the vanishing point and we do the same at the top, what we have is the illusion of something sticking out a wee bit. So it only comes out a wee bit. I'm going to say it goes to about there. And then it goes back to our other vanishing point. Okay. Perfect. And then we have the second section of the house. Now, although again, in real life, this section and this section are the same size, this is further back, so we're going to really shorten that down a wee bit. We'll maybe make it about that tall. It goes up to that line there. Helps if that line's just a wee bit straighter. Okay, and then we've got another peak of our roof. So same thing, we find the middle, we go back to the vanishing point ever so slightly. Okay, and this is where it's going to get a wee bit complicated. So how do we make these 2 points of our roof match? Well, we need to get our point of our roof in first. Here we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this point, roughly, back to that vanishing point. I'm going to take this point, roughly, back to that vanishing point, and we end up where the two of them connect. So I just darken that in so that it shows up a wee bit better. And then we know it needs to connect here. And now we've got a roof that wraps round. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got a window here, which we know is the same size as this one, on this face. And we have to do that piece of string wrapping around the corner. So this string comes to this corner. We have to wrap it to the front bit using the vanishing point on the left. And then we take our piece of string and wrap it around the corner again. And we go onto this vanishing point. There's the top of our window. This bottom piece of string comes to this vanishing point. Wrap it around the corner. Wrap it again. And then you've got the top and bottom of your window. So the window again is in the middle. We've already found our new middle. So we're just going to put our window in here. It's a bit skinnier than the first one. Okay. And then directly below that we've got a larger window which is the same height as this. So string technique again, guys. Okay, it's going back here. Back here. Got the top of our window. It's the same as the bottom here. Back to the vanishing point. And this is where keeping these construction lines is really important, because the more detail you add to a drawing, the more construction lines you're going to have. And it's really important, if you don't keep them nice and neat, nice and light, you're going to end up with a really messy drawing really quickly. So just going to make that a wee bit bigger. Okay. So for example, there's a little red row of bricks that runs round my design. I might decide that I'm going to put them in, and I'll just darken that down so that when I come to render it, I can take those lines here and here, taking it to the vanishing point, and I can get them all rendered in nice and neatly when I'm doing my application of material and colour. Okay, which I'm not going to do in this video because I don't want it to take too much time. I'd rather you guys were doing it. So the more detail you add to a drawing, the better the drawing will look. So it's about taking your time and thinking, what can I add to this drawing that's going to make it stand out? Am I going to add in lots of detail to the windows? Am I going to add in all of the individual bricks? Okay, so we'll have a wee look at those two things just now, and then it really is up to you how you finish and style your drawing. I will upload my finished drawing into the assignment so that you're able to see what is possible with just a wee bit of time. Okay, so let's imagine we're talking about these bricks. Yeah? So I want to have bricks on this window. I'm going to make some dots on this line, and I'm going to make sure that they're all evenly spaced, roughly. Okay. It's a sketch, it's not a drawing. If you really wanted to cheat, you could use your ruler, but we're not going to cheat for this. Okay, so I've got a series of dots, and in order to do the bricks on this side, all I would do is each dot, I'm going to take them back to the vanishing point. So you get the idea, just keep going for all of your bricks. Yeah. And then we know from having drawn houses in primary school that we don't just put a big line down each one, we are going to do every second one. This is what gives a wall its strength. So every second row, I'm going to do a brick. And then in between each one, we'll do another brick on the alternative line. And then as these bricks go further back to the vanishing point, remember we need to make them smaller. So this size was here, and then we're going to make them smaller again on this one. And then we'll make them smaller again. Being really careful to be getting our lines nice and neat. Okay. And then we'll just keep getting smaller as they go back. And this is a really simple detail you can add just to make your building look a wee bit more realistic. Almost there, all the way back. They become almost nothing. And when we come to rendering, this is going to look really good. Okay, so loads of wee bricks here, and then we do the same, and it's easier for the second lot because we want it to be just beyond the middle. And then the next one just beyond the middle again. Remember that idea, guys, we're not going exactly in the centre. Things should be slightly bigger. And if I just go on and on, you can see we've started to get our little brickwork appearing going on there. If you want to wrap the windows round, the windows that I've got have obviously got different sections to them. They're split into little mini rectangles. So if I just get my drawing up just now, because that way you can compare it to the picture I'm using as the basis, it's got 3 sections here and 2 sections here. So you split it in 2, find the middle, go slightly closer to the vanishing point, and then we might want to draw our first set of lines. Right, now it has a thickness, so there we go. Right, 3 sections here. If I'm going to do it evenly, and I want them to be the same on both sides, remember I use my vanishing point, and I can continue that on both sides. Okay, go back to the vanishing point. And then on this one, just the same. You might want to start outlining your windows, giving them little cells. If you want them to have like a little window ledge, you could project out from each corner. Using your vanishing point again. So you should just get into the habit of realising that unless you're doing a vertical line like that, everything then goes back to the vanishing point on the left or the vanishing point on the right. And by using these two markers, you can start to create a really realistic drawing quite easily. So now I've got little window ledges. Okay, so guys, it's really up to you how much time and effort you're going to put into this. We will be assessing the quality of your drawing. We'll be assessing your creativity. We'll be assessing your rendering. Looking at proportions, so things that are further back should appear smaller. Things that are closer to the front should appear bigger. Okay, and we really want you to show us what you're able to do. You've got a full week to do this, so that's plenty of time. As I said, I will upload mine, and I'd be really keen to see what you are capable of second year.